I'm Tylo. I'm 21 years old. Tylo actually comes from my middle name, which is Tyler, last name Smith. I'm living out here in Phoenix, AZ.
We talked a little bit before this, and we talked about Montana and all that. Take me back to growing up. What was your childhood like? How did you become Tylo at 21?
Oh, okay. How I became Tylo at 21. Montana is pretty, it's a beautiful place. It was pretty weird to kind of grow up in Montana. You know, I didn't have a lot of family of melanin that lived kind of in the same place as me. You know, most of my family back there was white, as well as most of the demographic. But so it was a little crazy to kind of grow up there. I mean, but when I really started, what really kind of started it was I always remember just riding in the car with my mom, because it was just me and my mom for a little bit, for a couple years there. And I remember just riding around the car with my mom, and you know, she would play just she liked old hip hop. So I just remember, I mean, like hip hop, pop, everything like that. So I just remember rolling with my mom, listening to, you know, Justin Timberlake and Usher. When I started in Montana, it really was just me. I remember I whipped out GarageBand on my little old iPhone 5, and I kind of just started messing with one of the default beats they had. I changed out a couple of the loops, and I like recorded in my headphone microphone my first ever song that I don't even have a copy of anymore. So I wish I kind of had that to see where I truly have fully progressed from, but yeah, it was originally just me, and then I met a kid in my culinary arts class who did music, and we kind of formed a duo for about a year there, but our music just went two separate directions. You know, I felt like he always embraced the grunge underground type scene as well, but with myself, I felt like I've always been more stuff like, this is the stuff that's gonna be played in the club, this is stuff that's really gonna get people like bumping and stuff like that. Back before puberty hit, I obviously thought I was a little Usher, a little Justin Timberlake, but I felt like I always kind of had the voice to do something in music, but I didn't think it would progress past high school. In high school, my choir teacher actually forced me to be in choir. I was gonna be a drama kid, but my choir teacher actually said, I de-enrolled you in drama, you're gonna go spend a year in this men's choir, and then you gon' be in one of the honor choirs or a couple of them. And so I feel like in high school was where my love of music really started happening, and where I kind of started becoming Tylo. I think really early in choir, I noticed that I took it way more seriously than a lot of the other people that were doing it. When I got out of high school, I realized I kind of just didn't want to stop, and so I guess I kind of just fell into this, but trying to start that in Montana is definitely something that was a challenge for me at first. You know, a lot of people don't perceive you how you want to be perceived. So it's like we were talking about earlier, you know, a lot of people are still like, oh, that's great, like that's a nice hobby. My energy and my process, it kind of just depends. I'll roll in there, drip down, and sometimes I'll literally roll in there like what, in my Adidas sweatpants and a little zip up hoodie and a wife beater. Like, it's like my energy can change depending on what kind of vibe that I'm gonna throw out there in the studio. My process is really kind of the same. I'll sit here, and every time I write, every time I feel like I have a good group of work, I'll be just like, I'll be yelling, and my roommate be like, what are you, like, who are you talking to in here? And I'm like, bruh, I'm just trying to get all these pockets exactly right. So like, I'll spend a good amount of time like rehearsing before I even go into the studio, because I feel like that's important. That's when you don't have to focus so much on like the craft and the overall like quality, because you already know what tones and what pockets you want to hit. But you can notice like, okay, that bar doesn't sound good there, or we can do this beat cut there, or we can put this bar, and it makes arranging so much easier when you don't have to go in there and like, oh, is that how I want to rap it, or is that how I want to rap it?
How would you describe your sound?
My sound? That's a good question, because I feel like it hasn't really been established yet. I think there's the people who, like, my grandma was always like, you need to sing more. But then there's the people that are just like, hey bro, like this is cold. Like I feel like my voice is very versatile in the sense where I can kind of blend them. Like I remember I got a placement on somebody's playlist and they kind of did little video episodes on each song that they added, and he told me, he was like, the beat is absolutely, he like in the video he said the beat is absolutely hard, but the lyrics contrast the beat so well that it's kind of like it's like, how did he do this? So like I don't know, like I feel like I pride myself in like, you not gonna know what you gonna get from me.
I want to talk more about your music background. So you said it all kind of started from choir?
Yeah, all kind of started from choir. I remember just like I said, I remember being the person who like always took it like a lot more serious. I'm not gonna say more than everybody, because I mean, you know, like I'm a sophomore in high school. I'm sure there were people who, you know, actually went on to be choir oriented that were a lot more focused than I was. But I felt like I always, like I'm definitely a performer. Like as much as people didn't like to see it, and probably still don't, but like I felt like I've always kind of been a performer. Like I always feel like I have the energy that can take a room, and not even in a sense that like I come in and like I'm loud and I'm like aggressive, none of that stuff. It's just like I've been at places where people have, oh yeah, like hey, what's, like, oh I'm Tylo, like oh hey, yeah, what's up? And then it's like they hear from the grapevine like, oh yeah, like that's Tylo, like, and they're just like, he's like, oh yeah, okay, like what's up? Really, I mean, with the rap, I remember when I first kind of started doing it, I mean, like, you know, you getting that 50 to 64 plays on SoundCloud, and you know, you sit in there and you just like, hey man, like what if I can get to 100? Like what if I can get to 1,000? Like what if, like you sit there and you literally thinking there's always gonna be those people who are just like, bro, like you got 9 likes on that SoundCloud track. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, but like what are you doing? So it's like, I felt like that has always kind of, like I've never been a super type, like I don't need to flex on these people. Like they gonna do their thing and I'm gonna do mine. But at the same time, it's like I've never ever been a hater. Like, and I feel like that, like dealing with so much hate and everything like that, especially when you in high school, and you know, everybody like that in high school. But I feel like dealing with all that hate has really given me like the perseverance, like to the point where like when someone tells me, you know, like no, it don't matter how big they are, I'm just like, all right, like that's just another person I gotta prove wrong. So like I definitely, like I've always been able to persevere in every type of music opportunity that I've had. But back to, I mean, I take it back to really my first show. Like I dropped a project under, okay, I used to be named Kid Wavy actually, with 2 Y's. I dropped a project under that name, and actually I promoted my own show, and it was pretty crazy because it was crazy to see the same people who was just like, oh, like, bro, this 64 plays, like, them dudes actually showed up.
Where was your first show?
Actually showed up. It was in Great Falls, Montana. Well, I can't say that because I was a guest at a Billings show in Billings, Montana. But my first show where I was kind of like the main person was in Great Falls, Montana, and I remember like it was like a great turnout. It was like I felt like I was the first person to really bring that to Montana in a minute, and like I had a fun time. And I ever since then, you know, I did a show every year. People that still came out. I don't think I'm gonna be back there until I can pack something more like an arena. But besides the point, ever since then, I've really kind of just been doing shows. Like I remember traveling, almost doing a show a month back when I was in Montana, back when I was in college. And when I moved out here, like I got set up with Respect the Underground, and I did one show with them, and like I've been in talks with them, and it's like I felt like I've never had a problem like being able to get on stage. So I'm doing all these shows. I'm Kid Wavy a little bit before what? The start of 2019? It had to be a little bit before the start of 2019. And then I was like, you know, with this new music that I'm about to make, I really feel like I need to change my name. I need to be a little bit more me. I feel like I need to be a little bit more like, a little bit more myself. So I changed the name, Tylo Smith. I wish I could drop the $, but you know, when I got them big label execs that can do it for me, that's what I'm gonna do. But I like that name because nobody else has that name. Like people will be like I'll be like, hi, I'm Tylo. Oh, Tylo? But I mean, they actually are like, they're like, oh, okay, like Tylo, that's what's up. So that brings me to, you know, last year when I dropped my first project under Tylo Smith, and it did something like, I don't know, 50 to 75K just on Spotify within like the first month. So that's when I felt like I really could do something with this. So I came down here to Phoenix. I got recognized actually in the Scottsdale Fashion Square, and that's when my current roommate, who I was actually visiting at the time, said, dog, you gotta get out here. So I moved out here. I immediately started meeting some people that I felt like I needed to meet. Shout out Lil Kari, shout out Cy Manley, shout out D-Mart. But I felt like I met the people that I needed to when I first moved out here. And it's nothing but us kind of working on our craft as a team now, and I feel like that's really what brings me to this point today with music, kind of taking all like different walks of life and bringing it to like one common area.
What's the dynamic in Phoenix like?
In Phoenix, actually, like a lot of people like people from Phoenix, I mean, anywhere that you're from, you're gonna be like, oh, everybody a hater, because like that's just what you know, like you just been here for a while. But I've actually got like a lot of love. Like I can't speak too much on the city of Phoenix only because I haven't been out here for a long time, but I've got nothing but love since I've been out here. I definitely feel like it's a good dynamic, and people will support you if you have that talent. Like I can't say, I'm not from a metro like in LA, New York, you know, Atlanta, none of that. So like I can't say that like I've ever been in a big enough place to have that type of support. But I mean, people out here, like if you're talented, they'll be like, okay, that's what's up. Like people back in Montana, they'll be like, okay, you talented, but like you better than me, so like we can't vibe. I've been able to meet a lot of good people, and I've been able to make a lot of moves out here in Phoenix, and I definitely think it's a great place for anyone to really start. There's a huge underground scene. Everybody really be working hard, and it's like not even like it's a competition. Like of course, you know, there are those people that it is, but there's those people that take it to that next level. Like there's room for everybody to eat, and I feel like that's 80% of the Phoenix artists you gonna meet is like, okay, let's all eat, you know what I mean? So I definitely like being out here. Oh yeah, the underground is supported really well. Like I know they do like a whole underground music festival that just always draws masses of people. So I mean, the underground scene is definitely supported well here.
What about hip hop in general?
Hip hop. Oh yeah.
Because I know
EDM's popping
very
out here.
high.
EDM's popping out here. Yeah. I will say EDM is popping. So like a lot of people, when you in the club, it's like they want the club bangers or they want the EDM. But I feel like there's that group of people who will support the underground artists that they truthfully believe in, and those are friends with the people that are like, all I want is the club bangers and the EDM. So it's like it's all just grapevine, you know what I mean? It's all just word of mouth. I'm gonna say my biggest inspiration when it comes to like vocals would have to be like I really like Chris Brown. Like I say Chris Brown, Usher, just the type of like that's the soft touch that they got on their voice, that they don't gotta overdo it. But I would say when it comes to like breaking down lyrics and actual like flow, I listened to Odd Future like crazy amount in high school, and Earl Sweatshirt is one of the best lyricists I've ever heard. Like next to him, like I'd say like I equally listen to the same amount as like early Big Sean, and Big Sean always brings the bars. Like there's some bars where I'm just like okay, but overall, and I say like creativity. Who's my biggest inspiration in like creativity? Kanye West. No matter the budget.
No matter the budget.
There's so many people. I personally think that I'm not gonna go too crazy because like I don't know, like I can hear myself like with people, you know, like Thug, Drake, like all those types of people. But I'd say the first person I'd probably want to make a song with is someone like Cordae. Like I feel like YB and Cordae and I could actually go ham on like a little cypher. Like I think, like, which is so crazy, but like I just feel like when I listen to his bars, I'm like, oh, this dude writes like just like how I do. Like the flows, like it's just like, bro, like he'll come up with a flow inside of a flow inside of a flow, and like I feel like that's what I'm always looking for. So I'd say that would be the one person I'd probably want to collab with. Damn, I really kind of wake up, I'll watch First Take just because I love Stephen A. And then I don't know, from there I might smoke. I might go work. I'll probably smoke, go work out, maybe go get some lunch with the homies. Midday, I'm kind of just vibing out, chilling if I ain't gotta work a little bit. And then kind of after 6, 7, I really just like, that's when music hours kind of kick in, or like I'll be in the studio. Like if it's a studio day, like that, from that whole midday I'll be writing. I'll be worried about like, okay, what do I need to bring, like what do I need to get done, like what type of energy do I need to bring up in there. Like I'll read a lot, and I don't know, I'll meditate sometimes. Like I'll just kind of just vibe, like just for a sec, just cause like I kind of need to center myself. But yeah, wake up, First Take, smoke, food, book, exercise, and then studio. I want to be a whole exec. I've been working on something since 2016, and I haven't unveiled a thing about it to more than maybe 5 people. And like it's just like I'm building something that's like, I feel like I'm in the process of building something that's not just for the music, or for, it's just like completely for the culture. Like, and I feel like that sounds so outlandish, but the best ideas are outlandish. I'm gonna drop a project in July. I'm gonna drop a project in probably July 8th, or 4th of July. No, 4th of July weekend. Yeah, 4th of July weekend is what I think I decided on. It's gonna have 8 tracks, 2 sides, 4 tracks that are vibes, 4 tracks that probably gonna make you say your girls for the streets, and yeah, and so that's basically my plans. And then a lot of collabs, might be a collab EP in the mix, but mostly just features, and then my main project in July. Y'all can find Tylo Smith, TYLO $Smith SMITH. So you can find me on Apple Music, Spotify, really any major streaming platform. Go check me out. My Instagram is official Tylo Smith.
That's a wrap.